Good morning. Thank you for all attending. At this time, I would like to introduce to you Wheeling University President Ginny R. Favid.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here. I appreciate the support. All of campus is up on the second level. They're all very excited to welcome our newest member of the Cardinal family. We talk about that word a lot. We talk about it almost on a daily basis. We are a family here. Everything we do is about family, and we believe in taking care of one another in that aspect as well. So it is a pleasure to have you all here, socially distanced, wearing our mask. We're doing the absolute best we can in very difficult times. But I had asked this morning for a little bit of history because I want us to remind us of where this basketball program has actually come from. So Wheeling men's basketball program was the first sport at what was then Wheeling College. It's seen tremendous success over the years. The Cards first played its first game on December 1st, 1956 against West Virginia University's freshman team, which included future NBA Hall of Famer Jerry West. How's that for history? What is the noise? It's getting very loud. I think Andrew's going to go deal with that. The men's basketball program over the years has captured 2 MEC titles and 2 WVIAC championships. Cardinal teams have made 6 NCAA and 1 NAIA tournament appearances. The men's basketball program has had more than 25 players who scored 1,000 points in their careers and has had several players go on to play professional basketball. Most recently, Haywood Highsmith, who was part of the Philadelphia 76ers team. Also, the Cards have had some impressive coaches since 1956. 2 of the most notable are Jay DeFruzio and Jim O'Brien. Jay was the longest serving, coaching the Cardinals for 18 long years, during which time he compiled the best record amongst all coaches to date. It's a little bit of, that's setting the bar for you, Chris. Notable other coaches, Jim O'Brien. Jim went on to coach the NCAA Division I level as assistant and head coach before landing in the NBA as the head coach for the Boston Celtics, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Indiana Pacers. This year's team, when we began this time last year and Coach Will Ryan had joined us, this year that team was predicted to finish at the bottom of the Mountain East Conference. Under the tutelage of then Coach Will Ryan, the Cardinals compiled a 14-13 record and finished 5th in the MEC. And I think that what we saw the beginning of what we refer to as the Cardinals rising. Will took the helm. He, like Chris Richardson, brought his family here. It became part of the family, and he compiled a tremendous team of tremendous young men. Most of you who know me personally know I am a tremendous sports enthusiast. I love sports. I love all sports. Obviously, baseball is my favorite since my son is still a baseball player. But, I sat here in this arena and I watched those boys play. And I watched Will coach them. And I saw young men become tremendous players, and I saw a team being built. And they kind of became representative to me of what was transpiring here, the way we were coming together and we were building and rebuilding this university. Will's departure was bittersweet. Will was a family member to us. He and Emily and those 3 boys were very dear and very loved, but Will had a tremendous opportunity. No one will ever begrudge anyone having an opportunity to do better and to do better for their families, and Will had an opportunity to go back home. Will Ryan had an opportunity to go to a Division I program and to go back home where he and Emily's families both were, and I wish him all the best. But then the search began for a replacement to Will Ryan at a very difficult time, because at this point, when Will's decided to depart, we're in the midst of the pandemic. But Will's departure left this university on the ticker tape of ESPN, and something amazing happened. We had almost 200 candidates apply for this position. So I think it was a mix of positive press that's come out of this university that's defied the odds and refused to close, that we've been part of a community that also rallied around it, as far up as Congressman McKinley and Governor Justice that said, you know, this university means something to this community. So we saw ourselves on a national platform in the sports media. And it was a little intimidating. My human resources director, David Hacker, who is in the back, will tell you he doesn't recall ever having that many applications for any position. So I did what any good-minded person would do. I called upon friends, and we had a committee. A former member and alumni, John Reesbeck, my very good friend Bubba Caprell, and Nick Sparshane sat on a committee to help search, because I didn't want it to be just within this university. I wanted it to be a part of the community, because whomever would replace Will Ryan would become part of this community. And it was an exciting search. And Carrie Hanna, our our acting athletic director, will tell you it was a very exciting time. We had more phone calls and emails than we can possibly remember over the years. But I share this in the fact that I did it two different ways, because I did it that way and then I did it behind the scenes. Anyone who knows me knows me. I do a lot of research. I put a lot of time and effort into it. And ironically enough, both ways I came back to the exact same man. So today I'm here to introduce to you our new basketball coach, Mr. Chris Richardson. Chris spent the past six seasons, as an assistant coach with the Mules, Central Missouri Mules. So you're going from being a mule to a Cardinal. During his tenure, Central Missouri went 104-73 and made an appearance in the NCAA Division II tournament. When he arrived in 2014 at Central Missouri, he'd spent 2 seasons as an assistant coach, but he helped engineer one of the nation's most impressive 2-year turnarounds, winning 38 games over the next 2 seasons and ending with a berth in the NCAA Division II tournament. He's familiar with West Virginia. His father is here with us today. Mr. Richardson is here with us today and is also a friend of the community. And he is familiar with the landscape of the Mountain East Conference. He served as assistant coach for both Fairmont State and the University of Charleston. So he decided that his third trek as a coach in the state of West Virginia would be for the best university in the state of West Virginia, Wheeling University. So ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride that I introduce to you the 11th basketball coach, head men's basketball coach in the state for Wheeling University, Mr. Chris Richardson.
Thank you. Slip this off for just a second, but I did want to say, keep these on so that we can get out here and support our student athletes of every sport as soon as we possibly can. I know that everybody's excited to do that. We've got a lot of great coaches and sports programs here at Wheeling, and the sooner we can get back out here, it's got a lot to do with keeping these on. So mask up so we can get back to doing what we all love. I really appreciate everybody coming out today. Great to see a lot of people from our campus, people here from the community, and a lot of family and friends. I mentioned my dad's here. My former boss is here as well, Greg Hunter, and a couple friends in the back there, Chris Marshall and Stephen Bupp and Greg Schock. My cousin Shelly is also here. So a lot of family and friends here today, and a lot of people who, if I haven't met you yet, we'll soon be friends, and I'm looking forward to that. It is an absolute honor to be named the 11th head coach in the storied history of Wheeling men's basketball. What an awesome responsibility to be entrusted with leading this program both on and off the floor, and I'm grateful to President Favid for her confidence in me. I'd like to thank Carrie Hanna as well and David Hacker for their professionalism, their leadership, and the rest of the committee as well for all their transparency and their patience during the process. It was an absolutely first-class process. And in the couple days I've spent up here since getting the job, it's been more of the same. It is a first-class institution, and that's because it has first-class people. As I've had to make sure where she was. As I prepared for the day, talked with other coaches who've been through their first press conference, they've all said, whatever you do, do not forget to introduce your wife. So at this time, my wife Katie is up there, and that's our guy Corey right there, trying to shake the gate or whatever he's doing up there. I've always believed that if you're good to the game of basketball, then it will be good to you. And for me, no better example of that than meeting my wife for the first time at the 2011, what was then the WVIAC conference tournament. We started dating later that year, and ironically, one of our first dates was right here in Wheeling. I had to come up to a high school game, watch a couple players at the time, and we got up here early, went and got a couple pieces of pizza at a great local restaurant, drove through the lights at Ogilvy, and then to cap it off, had a great high school game just down the street. Corey shares a birthday with James Naismith, who invented this great game, and I was so excited when I realized that the day he was born that I just kind of blurted it out in the delivery room. I was like, hey, he shares a birthday with James Naismith. That's pretty cool. Some reason the doctors, the nurses, and the new mother didn't think it was as good a tidbit or good a factoid at the time. So he was born into the game, born the first week of the season, and you'll see him here a lot. Katie also reminded me this morning while we were driving into town that we're just a short distance now from the Fiesta Wear factory, which is awesome. What she was really reminding me is about a month ago, I dropped a bowl in the kitchen and broke in about 100 pieces, so I'm still on the hook for replacing that. I'll get that done sooner rather than later. This one's already out the window, but a couple of my buddies said, how long do you think Corey will sit there? And we came up with a minute. He didn't make it that long, but that's okay. He needs to get used to running around this gym because we plan on him running around this gym for a very, very long time. Excited for him to grow up in the gym. Need to thank my parents. Obviously, my dad is here. My mother is watching from her home in North Carolina. She's already texted me this morning. She's decked out in red and black, and probably just going crazy. She watches every game online, so she'll be happy to have the Mountain East Network, readily accessible on her TV and on her computer. Also need to thank my brother and my in-laws for all their support over the years. When you're in coaching, as you probably know, it doesn't just affect the coach, it affects the family. A lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard nights and late nights, dealing after losses, in particular when you're in the gym watching film till 3 or 4 in the morning. And so appreciate them for their support over the years, and happy that we can come back home to the place where we belong. Finally, I'd like to thank UCM for 6 great years. Great coaches and leaders. And most of all, players. Over the past 12 years, I've worked every day to prepare for this opportunity, and I've been unbelievably blessed to work for some great mentors over that time. At every school I've been at, I've worked under exceptional head coaches. I love the mission of Division II, the emphasis on community involvement. Who is that? Whose kid is that? The emphasis on community involvement, the focus on the overall student-athlete, and the commitment to living a life in the balance. The head coaches I've worked for have all guided me and showed me the way. And at this time, I'd like to thank Tim Murphy, Mark Downey, Brett Vincent, Jared Calhoun, Jim Boone, and Doug Carlskent for all of their leadership and mentoring over the years. It's because of them that I'm standing here today, because of what I've learned from them and the opportunity that they took to take me under their wing. To Chris Wallace, a Buckhannon native, whose recall and obscure, just in his mind of old school West Virginia Conference basketball factoids is second to none. He's been in the NBA for a long time with the Celtics, the Heat, the Knicks. He actually worked with Coach O'Brien with the Celtics, and most recently the Memphis Grizzlies. He was the first person to really believe in me from a basketball standpoint, gave me an opportunity to come work for him as an intern, and really showed me the way and he's been an awesome mentor ever since. I know he's excited today as well. To Coach Huggins, another unbelievable mentor that I'm lucky to count as one of my own. He's been a great influence on me. When I decided to get into coaching, I basically camped out outside his office, and he talked to me for several hours, just wanting to tell me, hey, here's what you're getting into. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. And he's been a great mentor every step of the way, and I'm excited to be back close home where we can watch him and the Mountaineers continue to play at a very, very high level. Every assistant coach in the country wants the opportunity to be a head coach at some point. And when you look into those opportunities, it's really important to see the big picture. And so obviously when Coach Ryan left, Wheeling just popped off the page naturally because we grew up here. I grew up in Charleston. Katie grew up in Elkins. A lot of our family's still here. My mother actually is a graduate of the university here. She went through the Bold Degree program. She graduated from the Mount. She went to high school at the Mount. So there's a lot of family ties here to this community and this region. And that was great. But as I continued to do my research, there was something else that really stood out. And that's the leadership and the excitement that's present at this university right now at this moment. President Favid, your positivity, your vision, your enthusiasm, that made me so excited to want to be a part of this that before I even applied for the job, I knew that this was a place that I wanted to be and wanted to be for a long time. Just when you're from West Virginia, you don't live there. You always keep track of things, and so I had seen the headlines in the last couple of years and all that, but what I've seen more recently is enthusiasm, momentum, and it's reverberating through this campus. It's reverberating through the Ohio Valley, the great state of West Virginia, and beyond. And I'm very excited to be a small part of it. When I think of Wheeling, I think of a proud and dedicated group of alumni, specifically from the basketball program. And I've got, a number of friends that went to school here that I grew up with, people I've gotten to know since I've been in coaching. And, they all have lifelong friends and lifelong memories that they made right here on this campus. And so to our alumni, I just want to let you know, I cannot wait to reach out. I cannot wait to get you back involved. This is your program. We want to hear your voice, and you're going to be hearing from me. Most importantly, I look forward to sustaining a basketball program that you can continue to be proud of. Wheeling men's basketball has been built on a foundation of hard work, toughness, player development, and team play since the beginning, since 1956. And there's a legacy of great coaches here. And President Favid already touched on that, but it dates all the way back to Ed Coyne, the first coach. And it continued through the likes of Paul Baker, Jim O'Brien, Jay DeFruzio, Danny Sankum, John Peckinpah, a longtime friend of mine, and Will Ryan, who did an exceptional job this past season. So I'm really excited to build on that foundation. The standards are the standards, and we will not hide from those. We'll embrace that. We will be a hard work basketball program. We will be a team that plays with relentless effort and togetherness, and we will be a team that embodies the values of this community and this region. It isn't easy to be us. It's not going to be easy to be a Wheeling Cardinal, and we're going to embrace that every day. Our standard is excellence, and we will work diligently to pursue that standard on a daily basis in everything we do on and off the floor. We'll talk about culture more in a minute, but I really believe the first step in creating a championship culture is having a clear identity. We want people who come to watch us play to know what our identity is, what we stand for as a team. And we want to be able to look at the film after every practice and every game and say, that's us. That is us. That's Wheeling basketball. As a team, we're going to hang our hat on the defensive end. Our goal is to become the team that other teams in the league hate to play against. And programs I've been in before, we've been that. And there's no better feeling than taking people out of what they want to do and doing it over the course of 40 minutes. And if we can buy into that, and I know that we can, then we got a chance to be really successful here. We can't stop the offense from shooting, obviously, but we can really influence the types of shots they get. And so we want to keep things in our favor on the offensive end, efficiency-wise, and on the defensive end, we want to make it very difficult for teams to play against our set defense. It's going to be rooted in that hard work mindset that I just talked about. That's going to be the root of our program, especially on the defensive end. Offensively, I think we all know, and Brad Howell's here, who's maybe the go-to guy for any information on the Mountain East Conference outside of Commissioner Amos or anybody with the Mountain East. But offensively, there's not a better league in Division II men's basketball than the Mountain East Conference. So you got to be able to score. You got to be able to score to win in this league. We know that. I'm not going to focus so much on plays, other than maybe my dad. Nobody's coming to the game to watch me call plays. And I think when you call plays, possession after possession after possession, your effort begins to dip. So we're going to really focus and dive in on learning how to play together, emphasizing great spacing, working on moving the ball. We want to be a team that really prides itself on ball movement on the offensive end. And then we're going to play together, we're going to play unselfish, and we're going to play hard. You know, the things that separate good teams from great teams, the little things that don't show up in the box score, screening, the extra pass, getting after the loose ball, executing when we do run a set play, and there are times to run it. We're just not going to do it for 40 minutes every night. Doing the little things that make that play successful. We're really going to focus on that. And as we learn how to play and learn how to play together, I think that we're going to be a team that gets better and better as the year goes on. This is a player's game. It always has been. It always will be. And we're going to be a player's program. We're going to tailor our offense to showcase and fit the individual strengths of our personnel. On the recruiting front, we want to be a constant presence in the recruitment of local talent. We also want to reconnect with our traditional pipelines here in Maryland, Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia. A lot of great players have come through here over the years from those areas, and we want to continue that. We want to build that, and it's going to take time, but we're going to be a hard work basketball program, like I said. So we're going to put the work in on the recruiting front, too, to identify people that are perfect for Wheeling University. Not just the best players, but the right players. A great line from Miracle when Herb Brooks and Craig Patrick are talking. He says, we don't just want the best ones, we want the right ones. We want the right ones because the opportunity to be a Wheeling Cardinal is a privilege, and we want people that fit the values of this institution and will play with the values of this community. We want good kids who strive to earn their degree from Wheeling University and let their light shine to the world when they leave our campus. We want competitive players who aren't afraid of being challenged every day by their teammates and their coaches. And we want kids who come from great programs with great high school coaches. And we are so lucky to be where we are because within a very short drive of this campus, you can find a lot of great players and a lot of great coaches. And I look forward to connecting with them. Now, back to that word culture. You know, you hear it so much today in organizations, in sports. If you get online or go to the local bookstore, there's hundreds of books you can read about high-performing cultures. And as my wife tells you, I've clicked order on them quite a few times. But, you know, it's going to take time. Of course we want to have a great culture. We want to have an environment that our guys enjoy being a part of on a daily basis. We want to build a program that provides a first-class experience for our student-athletes. But that's going to take time. You cannot rush it. It has to grow naturally. It's not about just putting things on a sign or putting it up on Twitter and saying, that's us, that's our culture. It's about our daily habits, our values, and our standards. That's what's going to be the root of our culture, is our actions. So as we get to work, our goal will be to have a program that reflects the values of respect, humility, service, and investment. Those are 4 things we're going to try to reflect on a daily basis. And over time, if we can do that enough days in a row, then we'll have a culture of high performance. Finally, in the community and on campus, we will be present and we will be involved. Some of my best memories as a kid were local Division II basketball players, minor league baseball players, just showing up at our school to read a book or be there for the Halloween party, whatever. We're going to be present in this community. Our program is going to be present, and that's a responsibility of ours that we will embrace and we look forward to being a part of, not just in the community but on campus as well. We are here to serve Wheeling however we can, and we are proud to be Wheeling's team. It's been a hectic few weeks, and that's a good thing. I've really enjoyed connecting with a lot of the coaches here at Wheeling. I really appreciate you guys coming out today. We've got a great group of coaches, great people, and the culture in the athletic department is one of family. They've embraced me so far, and I'm looking forward to continuing to get to know them as we grow together. We've got an awesome group of student athletes, great group of kids that have been so responsive on the phone, had great conversations with all of them, and we'll continue to have great conversations individually and as a group over the next several weeks before we come back to school. I can't wait to continue to build those relationships and begin this journey with them. I'm excited to be home. It's an absolute honor to be the coach of this proud program, and I'm looking forward to the challenges ahead. Thank you again. Now let's get to work.
I apparently have some gifts for you. You're going to need this.
Yep.
As well as welcome to Wheeling University.
Thank you very much.
You had me when you said it was a privilege to be a Cardinal. Thank you for that. I think everyone here is thrilled to have you as part of our family, so we're thrilled to have your family here as well. I think they may have bolted on you, though, but I think we're going to do a group photo. Bubba had asked for a group photo, so we're trying to find some place we can do that with our mask on. A group photo, Carrie, coaches. All your coaches are up there supporting you. As I said, we do everything as a family, so I assume we all show up when it's time, so I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
So this is yours, and then where would you like us at, Bubba? All right. Andrew, can we move this? Can we move it out of the way? Excellent.
Thank you.
Very well done.